Hello everyone and welcome to Lush and Salty Aquariums. My name is Stefan and thank you for coming to the channel, supporting the channel, and all your contributions up until this point. One of the more fun and popular videos on FishTubers channels is the fish room tour. I love watching them and now I'm gonna do one, all right? So this is my fish room here in Chicago. What I won't include in this video is the 135 freshwater display out in another room. This is going to be my fish room office tour, of which I am vastly swishing and panning all over right now, but we'll get focused and let's do that, okay? So this is the rack, a Luxspire racking system, a high-end metal racking system that I couldn't be more pleased with. It is so awesome. It does everything I would want it to do with all kinds of plus surprises over the months I've had it, as opposed to those like negative discoveries. I've had nothing but good, oh my God, I can do this with that type moments, and maybe I'll go over some of those now with you here. On the top, I have my collection of old aquarium ephemera, if that's the right way to say that word. We've got 60s and 70s paraphernalia. The Penplex company, which is, you know, famous for these, as I call them, craptacular aquarium decorations, but over time with that patina, they're just a whole lot of fun, and they evoke childhood and positive memories for just about anyone who sees them. And while I never put stuff like that in my fish tanks, even when I was a kid, I appreciate them now in their own wonderful way. As I say, they're craptacular. And these are even a cut above. These are porcelain air stones. A couple of these, if not all three, were made in Japan. And so it's hard to develop a Providence or Provence. I always get those two words mixed up. Yeah, some writer I am. But they're really, really cool, and they're made of porcelain, and I adore them. I sort of have the scuba diver motif going on. Here's a couple more. Look at that guy fighting an octopus. They look to be hand painted. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but they look to be. Now this is an even older one. It's sort of a cement, if you know, I doubt it's cement as we know it, but a kind of a concrete type material, and all the paint's worn off. I've got old aquariums like this glass one here, and they call these sort of a battery for the shape they're in. I've got some hardscape back there, and then just straight up packaging. Now, some of you know I was in advertising, and I worked on packaging and branding and stuff like that for a bunch of years, and so I especially appreciate the dated, wonderful graphics of what normally would have been tossed immediately upon opening. So it's kind of cool and fun to have those here. That aquarium in the back is from Jewel, a Chicago manufacturer, and that's from like the 30s. It could be 40s, and it also could be the 20s, I forget, but it's old, it's heavy as hell. That's that sort of bottle glass before they even came up with the technology for smooth and glass, or at least they didn't spend the money on it. Got some fun antique fishing lures hanging from the rack, so that's the first value add. You've got all these possible places to hang tools and string plants through, and just any number of things, of which I'm doing more and more. These fun little divers, my daughter got me as a birthday present. They are catching fish. I believe they're sort of vintage and fun. Tchotchkes for sure, but they fit that motif up there. Okay, so like 5 minutes in and not one live creature. That's about to change. This is my 12-gallon Lifeguard Aquatics tank. Absolutely fabulous aquarium with the clear iron glass. And it's like 20 bucks less than the equivalent UNS or ADA aquarium, and it's a fine piece, it's a fine tool. And look at how beautiful this aquarium is, forgiving the reflection of the lamp there. I've got in here Chili Rasboras, a group, and then I've got the neon green Rasbora, and you can see them in the back there. Both fish just complement these red roof floaters. It's incredible. This is the stuff above, right? A piece of driftwood that I just leaned over the glass 8 months ago. Look at that carpet of moss. Is that awesome? I've got some hygrophila growing out from under the water, so its root systems are below ground and below water, I should say, and I keep that cropped a little bit tight because as it gets up to the light, the leaves burn, but the roots below are just as impressive and useful as the growth above it, maybe more so, right? So that's pothos, a couple varieties there, and all the roots are in the undercarriage of this tank. You can make them out back there, and they blend with the red root floaters and the frog bit, and they sort of link the top to the bottom, and they're pulling out all the stuff you want roots to pull out of the water system, you know, fish urine, nitrates, pollutants, right? They can't do the job all by themselves. I mean, some fish tubers say they can, and yeah, I guess they can, and certainly this tank I could probably turn the filter off for quite some time with all this plant growth, but I believe in filtration, if nothing else, to move the water, keep things clear, allow me to overstock, which is sort of a crime I keep committing. And in this tank, it's hard to find the fish, but there's got to be 50 of them. I won't go over all the plant list. You see crypts, and there's some rotala in the back and some java fern here. This is an emerged piece of pothos and the wonderful root there. And when I clean the tank, I can literally lift that plant right out. I run CO2 in this tank. I'm using the kind of cheapo Fluval rig, and I'm going to, when I run out of these CO2 cartridges, I'm going to link the CO2 diffuser to a larger UNS that I have down here on the second tank, and use a dual outlet to provide CO2 to both these aquariums and lose this one here. The reason why this one here, the worst thing about it, and it's darn near a deal breaker, it is for me now, I just had this from before, is you've got to turn this, you can't use a solenoid, so you're always, every time the lights come on, you got to tweak the system. It's not very precise. It takes a couple minutes, a pain in the ass. So bye-bye to that. As soon as I run out of the $20 cartridges, I might as well use them when I have them. It works fine. I mean, look at the proof is in the pudding, right? That shit looks great. This tank, oh my gosh, the 32-gallon long from SR Aquaristic, another excellent aquarium. That company is located in Elgin, Illinois, about 45 miles from me. And I don't know where to begin here. I've got live bearers and white cloud mountains in here. I've got leer-tail black mollies, tuxedo platies, German black swordtails, the Berlin strain. These white cloud mountains are long fin, bought from a breeder, 2 different breeders online. We've got some gold dust mollies, and then, as I said, the leer-tail black molly, which I will now talk about a little bit further because they're dropping fry left and right, as well as now I think the platies and maybe the red mollies. They're all up above and in here, and there's, you can see the light one over there. That's probably a platy, although it could be a gold dust molly. You know, I'm just not 100% sure because I don't have any albino or white fish in here. Just assuming it's one of the colored strains, and that's what they look like when they're fry. Look at that gorgeous, what is it, the common water sprite. Look at how it's growing there. How excellent is that? Not that, it's not like you see just all tumbling around in a breeder tank. It's organized and gorgeous. I love it. I hate having to cut it, but I pull the pieces all the time because it's a fast grower. Here's a few stems of Hyperoides, and then I've got a little crypt forest growing here. I put in a pleco cave because I got a number of them in here, although my super red's not in there now. He is one of the stars of this tank. And now, how about this? The Japanese clover, Hydrocolea tripolati. I said that all wrong, but this is what you want it to do, what I want it to do. A pseudo carpet, a little bit free flowy above, just gorgeous plant, delicate and dainty, and it's totally okay to mix in with the crypts. It won't create chaos for them because it's such a light and forgiving plant. A couple stems of Hygrophila pinnifatata, more of the Hyperoides plant, and then pogo stem and octopus in the back there, and green bale, leopard bale mixed in, forming a wonderful background. A lot of people, this is their favorite tank. It's heavily stocked, making babies now, and so as I said in an earlier video, I created a fry tank, and that's the F1 generation of the leer-tail black mollies. I'm going to be taking them to the local fish store for a store credit. You see the big ones, and then there's quite a few of the smaller ones which I caught within the last few days. These are a few weeks old, these are a few days old. They grow fast, especially when you feed them the right foods, live foods, the algae. Mollies love algae, and to forget about that and to overdo it on just protein is a bad error. But these guys look great. I'm gonna be sad to catch them all out and bring, look at that, is that cool or what? And if anybody wants this, and they're jet black, ick resistant, tank raised, you don't need any salt, beautiful healthy versions of this fish, and you're in the Chicagoland area, you just have to ask. I'll totally work something out with you, all right? So this tank was put together in 45 minutes to accommodate the burgeoning fry population using epiphytes, Anubias, Java fern, and then just the floaters. There's some of the water sprite I talked about. The teeny tiny ones, nobody's harassing each other. That could change, so I need to bring these fish that are big and to the pet store. They need to move for, well, A, they're getting too big for the little tank, and B, they could start predating on their cousins in there. This is the other 5-gallon grow out tank, pseudo Wallstead as I call it, because it's so heavily planted with no hardscape. I've got Limonphilia sessiflora on both sides, a Rotala in the center, and then a beautiful like weeping moss just occupying the middle ground. I've got black Venezuelan cories. I've got some stirbai and panda corridoras in here. And then probably about 30 baby mollies and platies as well. You can see them if you look, just keep looking, and they're everywhere. I feed my baby fish a live brine shrimp every day, and then grind up flakes and other things into a powder, or I use Hikari first bites. This is the brine shrimp hatchery where those aforementioned brine shrimp come from. It works 24/7. I don't have, if I take a day off, well, then these fish have to take a day off. And I love feeding live foods to my fish, and fortunately that's one of the best. So during the blackworm shortage the last year, and live adult brine shrimp are shitty from a nutrition perspective. That's really one of the best go-tos, unless you're able to do cultures of Daphnia and in an apartment. And, I'm not gonna waste an aquarium to try to do that. Anyway, look at this tank. Oh my gosh, this is the 22.5 gallons. It's from ADA. It's their 60H, I think, so 60 high. I got this at Aqua Forest in San Francisco. I ordered it from them, ironically, after I moved away from San Francisco, where I could have driven there and gotten it. I ordered it all and had it sent to me. It's got a twin star light, and I, bought one of these nifty little hanging systems. This was gonna be my, first high-end aquarium that I set up myself. Obviously, I've got CO2 in here. The plant life is just tremendous. I mean, this is a diorama that turns into a jungle in terms of the style of aquascape. It's a diorama because it was controlled nature with a sort of architecture and a story being told, you know, the Game of Thrones driftwood. There's previous videos where I talk about what my intent was, but nature has done what it does, and it's the master of us all really in the end, and now it's basically an organized but glorious jungle. I've got the SB rasbora, my slight favorite over its larger cousin, the het rasbora, and I've got the lovely, becoming ever more popular, used to be rare, rummy nose rasbora or saubois rasbora. The males, look at them, they're so cool looking with that slate gray and the rummy nose and the flare tip tails. The females are drab, but they're coveted because that you don't see them that much. So if someone says they only have females, take them, because they're not the hardest fish in the world to breed, especially if you're good with egg scatterers. And you always see the males and seldom the females, sort of like with the baddest, that little micro fish, the nano fish, the baddies, scarlet baddest. I'm not going to get into everything that's in this tank. I'll do a separate update on it, but that's a look at it, an appraisal. You can see the pothos now growing out of a little container I have set back and suction cupped onto the back wall, the roots into the tank. I'm going to have to chop this beautiful healthy piece because it's like heading towards the bedrooms. And then moving over here, I just did a video of this tank in it as a solitary subject matter. This is a 20-gallon Oase, a true 20-gallon classic size, but it's the rimless low iron tank, just like all of my aquariums in here, except for those two fry tanks. Everything is that rimless, borderless, low iron glass, something, for me. I wanted this to be my version of the Porsche, right? You get to be my age, you can get a sports car, and God only knows what other trouble you can get into, or you can venture into this hobby as I did. What a fabulous looking plant architecture, from the carpet to the midground to the background. I don't know what my favorite aquarium is. Everybody always asks that and what's your favorite fish, and that I guess people answer, but I bet you they change their mind all the time, and that's the beauty of an aquarium. If you have a fish that hasn't done well for you and suddenly it does, and it's dropping babies or something, it's going to be your new best friend, right? And if you have a plant, the same thing. And an aquarium that struggled at first but then just totally went lights out, suddenly that's your favorite aquarium. I'm in love with all of these in here, and it's like choosing between my daughters, which is your favorite. It's not possible to make that distinction. Look at that wallpaper. How fun is that, right? Thank you, wife. Some of my wonderful junk masterpieces, as I call them, like $5. Those two bullfighters were found in a flea market. This pseudo Picasso, although it's a legit piece of modern art. I think I paid $40 for that in someone's garage sale. And all of these works of art have a story, which is, that's their big value to me. There's one of my decorated leather jackets, a vintage shot perfecto, on a mannequin on my headphones when I'm watching you guys on YouTube. I put those on at night. So that is behind my chair. My beat up Mac. I might be getting one of those new ones since they just updated the MacBook Air, so I can watch your videos in updated splendor. And then kind of panning around, that's the supply room, and it's worth a peek. I'm gonna waste a little time with this crappy camera move. Look at that. There are some tools and a few household supplies in here, but basically that's all my stuff for maintaining the fish room from top to bottom. You can't have a fish room and keep it in any semblance of order without a real due diligence done to storage. So think about that before you start putting aquariums together. This is some fun old aquarium art. I had it framed nicely. This is like from the turn of the century, this beautiful little print of a completely impossible aquarium, but very beautiful. And then dig these guys. This is gonna be a great way to end. These are from the early 60s, I believe. They're matchbooks put out as a promotion by some cigarette company, and they feature, you know, freshwater hobby fish. And I found this set on eBay, and I had them framed. I mean, holy crap, I used to smoke, but I never saw these matches. I believe they're from the United Kingdom or somewhere in Europe. Look at that guy. How cool is that? All right, so the hobby can definitely be bolstered by stuff you do outside of the aquarium. There's another fun plate from a book, some kind of old book about aquarium fishes, maybe even a school text, if I remember correctly. All that stuff, you know, is a fun way to spend an evening searching eBay. I hope you enjoyed this tour as much as I did giving it. Leave your comments, suggestions, thoughts, and as always, keep your hands in the tank. Ciao for now.